Lily Thompson always walked with her head down and avoided eye contact with everyone around her. Living in a small town in California, each day felt heavy with the weight of her thoughts. When she sat in the coffee shop, she watched people laugh and talk freely while she sipped her drink in silence. Lily worked as a clerk in a local bookstore, surrounded by words and stories. Yet, she felt trapped in her own life, as if she were a character in a book who could not escape her sad chapter. Whenever she faced challenges, her mind filled with doubt. "What if I fail, and I'm not good enough?" would echo through her thoughts, holding her back. In meetings, she spoke softly, barely making her voice heard, even when she had great ideas. She feared rejection and scrutiny from her co-workers. This fear kept her from ever trying to shine. Because of this mindset, opportunities faded away like whispers in the wind. As the sun set each evening, she felt a deep sadness inside, wondering if she would ever find the courage to change. It was a constant battle between her hopes and her worries. One tough day felt like the next, and Lily longed for the light of positivity to break through the clouds of her self-doubt but didn't know how to find it. One rainy afternoon, Lily arrived home after another long day at the bookstore. Sighing, she kicked off her sneakers and slipped into her warm socks. The familiar weight of self-doubt wrapped around her like a thick blanket. The world felt big and scary, and she didn't know how to find her place in it. She dropped her bag on the couch and turned on her laptop, hoping to find a distraction. As she scrolled through social media, a video caught her attention. It was an inspiring talk by a woman named Sarah, who had once felt lost just like Lily. The title, "How to Believe in Yourself," seemed to call out to her. With a quick click, Lily leaned in, curious and eager. Sarah spoke with passion and energy, her words filling the air with warmth. Sarah shared her story about overcoming her own fears. She mentioned how, for years, she was buried under a mountain of doubt, just like Lily. "I had to learn to be kind to myself," she said with a smile. "Every time I caught myself thinking negative thoughts, I would replace them with positive ones. It changed everything for me." Lily's heart raced. Could it be that simple? She had never thought about fighting her negative thoughts this way. Maybe she should start noticing when the cold, heavy waves of doubt started creeping into her mind. Sarah then encouraged her viewers with simple steps to practice self-affirmation, small phrases of kindness and strength that could, over time, change a person's outlook. Lily began to feel a flicker of hope shine within her. After the video ended, Lily suited up for this new challenge. She grabbed a piece of paper and a bright-colored marker. With a deep breath, she wrote, "I am worthy. I can achieve my dreams." She felt a little silly at first, but that silliness quickly turned to pride as she placed her note on her mirror. Every day, she would read these words to herself, letting them settle in her heart. However, the next morning, fear quickly patted in as she faced her reflection. Doubts still floated around like unwelcome visitors. "What if these words are not true?" she thought. "What if I just look foolish saying them?" Lily's motivation wavered as she contemplated the easier path of silence and stillness. She almost gave in and stopped her practice. But the memory of Sarah's uplifting voice echoed in her mind. With shaky confidence, she faced the mirror, carefully repeating her own affirmations. Each word felt a tad stronger than the last. But while saying them felt uplifting, a storm of worry danced in her heart. How could she trust these new thoughts? Would others see her different, or judge her for not changing quickly enough? As she left for work that day, all her old self-doubt chased her through the door. Arriving at the bookstore, Lily was met by her co-worker Jake, who was always bubbly and cheerful. He enthusiastically greeted her with a smile and a compliment about her kindness. As they chatted, she felt a spark of joy collide with her nagging doubts. Maybe just for today, she could choose to believe in the kind words. Each small moment brought confusion and hope together, leaving her eager to see how her journey could unfold. In that in-between space, he was a reminder that change begins with a single brave step. One rainy evening, as Lily sat at her kitchen table, she recalled the motivational words still resonating in her heart. Her notebook lay open, filled with affirmations and dreams she had written down. A rush of determination bubbled inside her, urging her to take action. Taking a deep breath, Lily picked up her phone and began searching for ways to push herself forward. Suddenly, she spotted a flyer for a public speaking class at the community center. The thought of joining terrified her. Speaking in front of people felt like trying to climb a mountain. Within seconds, doubts flooded her mind. What if I stumble on my words? What if no one listens to me? But then she remembered Sarah's voice from the video, kind and encouraging. Just take the first step, Lily, it whispered in her ears. The morning of the first class, her stomach felt like a knot. As she looked in the mirror, she recited her affirmation with a smile. I am worthy. I can achieve my dreams. With that thought carrying her, she put on a brave face and headed out. The community center was bustling with people, young and old, all there to learn and grow. Each step Lily took towards the classroom was a step into the unknown. Inside the room, she found a group of friendly faces, all looking a bit nervous yet excited. The instructor, Mr. Hahn, greeted everyone with an encouraging smile. The first activity was to introduce themselves in front of the class, a task that seemed impossible for Lily just moments before. When it was her turn, she could feel her heart pounding loudly. She took a deep breath and began, trembling slightly but determined to keep her voice steady. I'm Lily, and I love books, she started. A wave of anxiety washed over her, but as she spoke about her favorite stories, the fear began to melt away. By the time she finished, a wave of applause followed. Surprised, she felt a warm glow spread through her chest. She had done it. It was a small win, a spark of confidence lighting up her day. With each new class, Lily faced challenges head-on. She was nervous during practice speeches and sometimes lost her train of thought. Self-doubt tried to sneak in during these moments, whispering fears about failure. But she relied on her affirmations. Every time she felt the weight of uncertainty, she recited her phrases quietly in her mind. I can do this. I am learning. As days turned into weeks, something remarkable happened. Lily not only improved but started to enjoy the experience. Small victories, like making her classmates laugh with a funny story or getting feedback that she had great presence on stage, filled her with joy. With each class left behind, she carried home more than words on a page. She found pride in her growth. One Tuesday night, during a class challenge, the group performed short speeches about their dreams. Lily stood tall, projecting her voice with newfound energy. For the first time, she spoke about her yearning to travel and write stories of her own. The audience connected with her words, nodding and smiling. When she finished, the applause resonated like a gentle wave washing around her, soothing yet powerful. Lily realized she had transformed through these small wins. Each experience added another brushstroke to the painting of her confidence. Her heart sang with a bright note as she left the class that night, looking out of the window at the stars twinkling above, each one a beacon of hope guiding her forward. The road ahead still had challenges, but now, for the first time, she believed in her ability to overcome them, ready for what tomorrow would bring. One bright morning, as Lily entered the bookstore, an email flashed across her phone. It was from her boss, Mrs. Adams. Lily, we would love for you to represent the store at the annual community fair next month. You can speak about our favorite books and how they can inspire others. As she read the email, excitement rushed through her veins, but quickly, fear crept in like a thick fog. The annual community fair was a significant event, attended by many people in town, and this opportunity felt like standing on a stage in front of a roaring crowd. What if she failed? The questions raced in her mind. What if I forget my words? What if people laugh at me? What if no one is interested? Her heart pounded, and her palms felt sweaty. The thrill of being invited quickly turned into a wave of self-doubt crashing against her. For days, the email sat unread in her inbox. Each time Lily looked at it, a knot tightened in her stomach. Her affirmations echoed in her mind, I am worthy. I can achieve my dreams. But with each moment, the fear felt overwhelming. She questioned whether she had the strength to face her biggest challenge yet. That evening, she decided to reach out for support. She called her friend Mia, who always knew the right words to say. When Mia picked up the phone, Lily spoke hesitantly, revealing the opportunity. But Mia, what if I mess it up, she confessed, her voice tinged with worry. Mia's laughter was warm and calming. Lily, just remember how far you've come. You can do this. Just think of the people whose lives you might touch with your words. With her friend's encouragement, Lily felt a flicker of bravery spark within her. Still, facing her fears wasn't easy. That night, she paced in her living room, rehearsing her talk. The words came, but anxiety about making mistakes clouded her mind. She stumbled several times, and frustration threatened to swallow her courage. What if I freeze on stage? What if the spotlight feels too bright, she thought. Days began to blur as the event approached. Every moment felt heavy, filled with pressure and anxiety that pressed against her confidence like a thick wall. On the night before the event, Lily lay awake, heart racing as she tossed around in bed. In the quiet of her room, her thoughts spiraled into a whirlwind of fear and doubt. Drawn into the abyss of worry loud inside her head, she began imagining her worst-case scenario, the audience blank-faced or busy on their phones while she fumbled through her speech. A tear slipped down her cheek as she felt the weight of her insecurities rush in, but as the night wore on, a spark of resilience ignited. She recalled the small victories she had celebrated at her public speaking class. Each time she spoke, she had been heard and appreciated. With these memories, she took a deep breath and sat up in her bed. Maybe I can do this, she whispered to herself, repeating the reassurance again and again. When the day of the event dawned bright and hopeful, she looked at herself in the mirror, reciting her affirmations. It wasn't perfect, but it felt true. As the sun started to rise, illuminating her room, Lily embraced the challenge ahead. Yes, fear still swirled around her, but so did the possibility of growth, and the thought of sharing her stories lit up her soul in a way she had never known. Stepping into the light of a new day, she vowed to take that bold step forward. The day of the annual community fair finally arrived, and a mix of excitement and anxiety filled the air. As Lily prepared her notes, her hands trembled with nervous energy. She wore a bright blue dress that made her feel both confident and vibrant, but deep down, her heart raced with doubt. Standing in front of the mirror, she recited her affirmations, hoping they would be enough to calm her nerves. I am worthy. I can achieve my dreams. When she arrived at the fair, the crowd bustled with laughter, conversation, and excitement. Each sound added to the growing pressure in Lily's chest. Her stomach twisted, and her breath became shallow. She could see the audience in the distance, people she knew, friends, co-workers, and even her boss. A wave of panic surged within her. What if they see me fail? What if I embarrass myself? The self-doubt reared its head, charging into her thoughts like a stampede. As the time for her speech approached, Lily found herself backstage, heart thumping wildly against her ribcage. She closed her eyes, trying to block out the noise of the fair. In that moment of stillness, she heard Sarah's voice again in her mind. It's okay to feel scared, but don't let that fear stop you. With that, she opened her eyes, grounding herself in the present. Lily's name was finally called, and she stepped onto the stage. The bright light shone down, and she squinted momentarily, overwhelmed by the warmth of the focus on her. The sight of familiar faces, some smiling encouragingly, gasped at her nerves for a moment. Her heart raced, and she fought the urge to flee, but deep down, she remembered her affirmations and the support of her friend Mia. With a deep breath, she took the microphone, palms slightly sweaty but mind determined. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today, she began, her voice softer than she intended. But she pressed on, stirring up her courage. I want to share how books have changed my life. Speaking about something she loved helped ease her nerves a little. As she spoke about stories that inspired her, she saw people nodding along, their interest weaving a thread of connection with her words. Yet as she dove deeper into her story, the fog of self-doubt began creeping back. What if I lose my place? What if everyone can see how shaky I am? The weight of uncertainty threatened to crush her spirit. Just when she felt she might falter, she remembered her affirmations, whispering them quietly to herself. I am worthy. Suddenly, something shifted inside her. Lily began to realize that it was okay to share her fear. With honesty shimmering in her eyes, she said, I used to be scared to speak in front of others. But I've learned that speaking isn't just about me, it's about connecting with all of you. With each word, a wave of acceptance washed over her, a moment of understanding that her vulnerability could resonate with others. Slowly but surely, her heartbeat steadied as she opened up about her own journey of overcoming self-doubt. The fear that had gripped her began to loosen its hold. The audience watched, engaged, showing her that they did care. The moment felt electric, and she realized that sharing her story was strengthening her transformation. When she finished, an eruption of applause filled the air as smiles beamed from familiar faces. In that moment, her heart swelled with warmth and pride. Lily had stepped into the fear, faced the challenge, and connected with her community. As she left the stage with a deep breath, everything felt lighter, as if a heavy cloud had lifted. The moment marked a turning point. She had conquered her fear and grown in a way she had never imagined. Lily finally understood that overcoming her fears didn't mean losing them, but rather embracing them in a new light. As the applause echoed in her ears, Lily stepped off the stage, her heart still racing but now filled with exhilaration. She glanced around, taking in the smiling faces of friends and community members who had come to support her. The nervousness that had gripped her moments before melted away, replaced by a deep sense of satisfaction and achievement. People began to approach her, eyes bright with enthusiasm. "That was amazing, Lily," one coworker exclaimed. "You really connected with us." Another person, a stranger to her before, said, "Your story inspired me to reach for my goals." "Thank you for sharing." Each compliment felt like a spark, igniting her confidence further. In that bustling moment, surrounded by warmth and encouragement, she realized that she had done more than just speak. She had made a connection, bridging the gap between her insecurities and her aspirations. In the days that followed, the echoes of her speech lingered in Lily's heart. She felt as if she had crossed an invisible line, stepping away from her old fears and doubts. Conversations buzzed brightly in her mind. "If I could face that challenge, what else can I accomplish?" she wondered. As she plunged into her everyday life, the world felt different. The weight of self-doubt lessened, like lifting a heavy backpack she didn't know she carried. Back at the bookstore, the experience transformed not only her perspective but also the way she interacted with others. She initiated conversations, shared her thoughts more freely, and even suggested changes to improve the store's book displays. The little things, once hidden behind her fears, now surfaced naturally. Before, she would have held back, avoiding the chance of criticism or rejection. One afternoon while shelving new arrivals, a younger girl timidly approached her. "Lily, can I ask how you did it? How did you speak in front of so many people?" Her wide eyes sparkled with curiosity. In that moment, Lily remembered her journey, the struggle, the fear, and finally the triumph. Rather than expressing her past insecurities, she smiled and replied, "I was scared too, but I learned that sharing my story could inspire everyone, including me. You just need to believe in yourself." The girl beamed, and Lily instantly felt a warming glow of purpose. Each time she shared her experience, she became more deeply connected to the truth of her own potential. Speaking, once a daunting task, transformed into an opportunity to lift others. Her heart swelled with the realization that her story could empower someone else just as Sarah's had inspired her. As weeks passed, Lily made it a point to attend more events at the community center, becoming involved in workshops and local projects. Each time she took part, she felt the echo of that speech pushing her forward. Her confidence sprouted from a seed into a tree of possibility. One evening, while driving home from another event, she glanced into the rearview mirror, and she caught a glimpse of her radiant smile reflected back at her. She knew then that this was just the beginning of her adventure. With newfound courage, she envisioned creating her own workshop, where she could help others shine just as brightly. Each step forward bravely carved out a space she could fill with hope, encouragement, and love. In this transformation, Lily had not only found her voice but also uncovered the resilience within herself, showing that the world could marvel at their glittering potential. No matter the challenges ahead, she felt ready to embrace them, fully believing in her ability to keep growing and inspiring others along the way. In the weeks following her successful speech, Lily felt a newfound energy surge through her life. The experience left a vibrant mark on her heart, helping her see the world through a more hopeful lens. The anxiety that once kept her trapped now transformed into an opportunity for growth. With every passing day, she embraced challenges that previously would have made her tremble with fear. Returning to her normal routine at the bookstore, Lily brought with her a bright outlook that inspired everyone around her. The way she interacted with customers changed completely. She smiled more, made connections effortlessly, and offered helpful suggestions about books in a way that felt natural. Each positive interaction strengthened her growing self-confidence. She knew she could engage and inspire, just as she had done at the fair. One afternoon, while organizing a display for an upcoming book signing, Lily overheard a conversation between two customers. They were discussing an upcoming author event that demanded local talents to share their work. One of them, a young man, was excited but clearly worried about public speaking. He mentioned how he always felt anxious when faced with a crowd. Hearing his struggles sparked a flare within her. As fear no longer ruled her thoughts, Lily felt a deep urge to assist. She approached the man gently and said, "I know public speaking can be scary, but I just did it myself. You'd be surprised at how supportive the audience can be. Maybe you can practice with me?" His eyes widened in surprise, and he nodded slowly, his face lighting up with hope. The two began to discuss their dreams and helped each other, forming a bond that was exciting and reassuring. For Lily, encouraging him felt like a natural extension of her own journey. She knew she was not only moving forward herself but also creating a path for someone else to follow. Through their practice sessions, they shared experiences and struggles, uplifting each other in ways they never anticipated. Yet, even with these small wins, moments of self-doubt lingered like quiet whispers. Lily still faced hesitation when she considered putting herself out there again. When the thought of public speaking came back, it sometimes felt overwhelming. However, whenever doubts arose, she turned back to the lessons learned that day on the stage. Each time she faltered, she trusted the belief she co-created with her affirmations. On one challenging day, as she stood in the aisle contemplating a crowd they would be presenting to together, she paused to breathe deeply. "I am worthy. I can achieve my dreams," she repeated silently. Identifying those familiar doubts, she realized they no longer defined her. Instead, they served as reminders of how much strength she had developed already. Lily started to accept that challenges were a part of the journey and a chance to learn. Each connection she made represented courage and a commitment to try again, shifting her mindset to one of resilience. As the date of the book signing approached, she found herself filling with excitement rather than fear. Finally, a new opportunity arrived. Inspired by the people she had engaged with and encouraged, she signed up to lead a short workshop on overcoming public speaking fears at a nearby community center. For the first time, the initiative felt less like a leap into the unknown and more like an expression of all she had gained from that experience. She understood she was learning how to help others while continuing her own path. Rather than feeling overwhelmed as she once had, Lily recognized that she was ready to embrace whatever the future held. The once heavy clouds of doubt that loomed over her now floated away, making space for sunlight and the promise of growth. She knew she was capable of conquering even greater challenges ahead, fortified by the lessons learned from her journey. As the weeks turned into months, Lily found herself entrenched in a new rhythm that bridged her journey of self-discovery with her desire to help others. The workshop on overcoming public speaking fears had been a success, igniting an even stronger passion within her. Encouraged by the positive feedback and the heartfelt connections she had created, she felt the pull to inspire others was stronger than ever. In her quiet moments at the bookstore, she began drafting ideas for a blog dedicated to self-improvement and personal growth. The title she chose, Lily's Path to Courage, resonated deeply with her journey. She wanted the blog to be a safe space where people could learn to face their fears and find strength in vulnerability. On weekends, she devoted time to writing about her experiences, how she transformed from feeling small and overwhelmed to embracing opportunities for growth. Each article sparked memories of her journey, helping her see how far she had truly come. She spoke honestly about her struggles and shared steps that had motivated her, focusing on practical advice anyone could use. As she hit publish for the first time, a lump formed in her throat. She felt nervous, but her heart swelled at the thought of potentially helping someone else. The comments rolled in slowly at first, but soon people began sharing their gratitude. They thanked her for being open and vulnerable, letting her know it encouraged them to face their own challenges. With every message, she felt her heart expand, realizing that her journey was not only personal but also interconnected with others. Encouraged by this response, Lily decided to create a YouTube channel to reach a broader audience. Standing in front of the camera was once a terrifying concept for her, but now it felt like a new adventure. She carefully prepared each episode, combining her writing with engaging visuals that could help illustrate her points. From practical speaking tips to affirmations and exercises, she shared parts of her own story alongside motivational insights. With every video she filmed, her confidence grew. Over time, she transitioned from reading off notes to speaking freely, embracing the naturalness of her delivery. Commentary and interactions flooded in from her viewers, as they began to share how her words had sparked changes in their lives. Comments such as, "You inspired me to start my own blog," and "I joined a public speaking class because of you," filled her with joy. Mentoring a friend named Ben, who struggled with similar feelings of inadequacy, also became a central part of her routine. They would meet weekly, sharing stories and hitting the pavement together to run through their fears. Ben shared his own hesitations, and Lily guided him gently with tips and affirmations. Watching him grow more assured in his speaking and storytelling warmed her heart like a gentle fire on a cold day. With each mentorship session, she reflected on her past, how it felt to be trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and uncertainty. Her heart filled with gratitude for the progress she had made. Anytime Ben faced a hurdle, she reminded him that moving forward was a process, encouraging him to find strength in vulnerability. Lily realized how lucky she was to be able to learn from her journey and help others through their struggles. As she continued to inspire others through her blog and videos, a sense of purpose blossomed within her. This journey had turned into something bigger than herself, and every person touched by her story reaffirmed the reality that they, too, had the power to create change. Each comment, each smile from someone she mentored, reminded her of her growth, affirming that she had become a beacon of light for those navigating their own paths of self-improvement. Lily embraced this new reality with confidence, aware that her experiences could create a ripple effect of positive change in the world. Her journey had grown from a simple desire to overcome her fears to becoming a source of inspiration for her community. The realization that she could help others discover their own courage filled her with pride and passion, further illustrating the transformative potential that lies within each of us. As the sun set on another productive day at the bookstore, Lily felt a warmth blossoming inside her, a peace that had once seemed like an impossible dream. Standing at the checkout counter, she reflected on how far she had come since that first shaky moment on stage at the annual community fair. The nervousness that once gripped her was replaced by a strong sense of purpose that guided her every action. Daily interactions with customers felt rich and fulfilling, forming genuine connections that she had previously avoided. Lily poured her energy into helping them find the perfect book, listening as they shared their own stories. Each conversation was like a thread weaving deeper ties within her community, proving to her that everyone has their own battles to face. She found joy in encouraging others, extending the same kindness that had been shown to her. Her belief in the power of words strengthened with every grateful smile she received. Amid this transformation, staying in touch with her mentor role sparked a sense of belonging that added meaning to her days. She continued to work with Ben, who had blossomed into a capable speaker in his own right. The thrill of watching him gain confidence filled her heart with pride. They both celebrated small victories together, developing a friendship that extended beyond their mentorship sessions. Outside of work, her blog gained traction, and her YouTube channel gathered subscribers eager for her insights on self-improvement. Lovely messages poured in daily, expressing gratitude for the content and the light she sparked in others' lives. Readers and viewers resonated with her words, the very same ones that had once lifted her from self-doubt. Writing these stories was not just about sharing lessons learned, it was a shared journey with her followers that reaffirmed their collective strength. Yet, as much joy as she found in helping others, Lily understood that personal growth is not a destination but an ongoing journey. There were still moments when self-doubt nibbled at the edges of her mind, whispering old worries into her ear. Instead of surrendering to those feelings, she learned to recognize them as part of being human. With each encounter, she practiced embracing her fears, turning them into opportunities for learning and growth. One beautiful Saturday, at a community event featuring local artists and vendors, she noticed a group of people congregating around a booth where a local poet was reading. This reminded her of the courage it had taken to step onto that very stage. Suddenly, an exciting idea sparked in her mind. She could organize an open mic event for aspiring speakers, rewarding them with the chance to share their stories with a warm and supportive audience. Smile spreading across her face, she began envisioning how this event would encourage people, new and old on their journeys, to seize the moment and find joy in their own voices. Burning with excitement and purpose, she contacted the community center to make it happen. Lily felt empowered, not just for herself, but for everyone who took part in embracing their potential. As she immersed herself in planning the event, she recognized profound change within her. She had stepped away from her once limiting belief that speaking out was daunting. Now, she fully embraced the truth that contributing her voice made a difference. Every challenge faced had led her to this point, and she felt alive with possibility.